Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another mod spotlight video. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the most beautiful unit reskins I've actually ever seen in the many years of Bannerlord. This is 1403 and brings Bannerlord into the late medieval era. The mod itself actually utilizes some of the best armory submods out there, combines them all in and creates just a whole spectrum of some epic late medieval armors and weapons. And one of the best things is that this mod is still very much just a reskin of units, so you can go ahead and pile on other mods that change other aspects of the campaign, stuff like Banner King's works, and it's just so much fun. And if you guys want to see a install guide for this mod, then let me know down below in the comments, because it does utilize a bunch of armory mods and their RBM competitors and stuff, so there's a few mods you have to download, and I know that isn't amazing for everybody. So if this video gets to 300 likes, I will go and put a complete install guide from start to finish up on the channel over the weekend. So let's just jump in now and I'll show you guys first things first. So as you guys see, we've loaded in, and this is what confuses quite a few people because it uses the custom series separate mod to basically change all the units. But as you guys can see, right now all these units are vanilla. These are just normal Bannerlord soldiers. However, with the custom series mod, you can basically come over here, go to custom units, import, and then select the 1403, the Knight Killer, which is the brand new update, adds in gunpowder units, which is really, really cool. And just like that, now all of a sudden we have a completely custom unit tree. All of these armors are completely custom made as well, looking very, very awesome. I'll also as well at the end of this video show you guys a battle as well, so you guys can see it up close and personal, but I always like to do it this way because it's just easier to kind of picture the type of units that you're going to be utilizing in the battle. So this mod does also change all the factions, or at least changes a lot of the names of the factions, of the faction units back to their warband counterparts as well. So right here we have the Swardian units. So on the left hand side we have a crossbow line that goes down into the Swardian crossbowmen. We also have Swardian sharpshooters, and then also the brand new handguns, which for some reason won't let me click on them. I don't know why it won't let me preview them, but they do work and stuff. So again, I'm sure that's just a bug that maybe will get fixed out of custom series. However, the sharpshooters and the handgunners look very cool. These guys are pretty decent for crossbows. They have very good armor piercing, whereas the handgunners, you guys can see, look at how bad their stats are. They're not really even good at shooting the handgun, and I guess that's the whole point of the handgun itself, is that it was supposed to be like that. The heavy infantry over here on the other side, I mean, look at these Swardian Vulgars are just insane. And what should happen as well with POC is that their color of their armor and stuff, so especially on like armors like this should change depending on the actual faction colors. So you guys can see right now is actually the same color as my faction, which is red and yellow. However, if I quickly change my banner, for example, and we go blue and let's go blue and gold, maybe blue and white, and then we go back and we take a look at them, they should actually change. And there you go. Yeah, so it's because I hadn't recruited them. So for example, we can take a look at some of them right here. You can see some of the cool custom armors and stuff, but yeah, right here, if I actually recruit them, all of a sudden they become blue and white. And obviously this becomes really cool when you're in battles and you're actually watching all the different lords with all their different colors and stuff, especially if you get some cool mods that change banners and colors and stuff. It becomes just an absolutely beautiful kind of mess of units, and yeah, all the flags and stuff. Oh, it's beautiful. So of course, sorry, we have obviously the heavy infantry, big old two-handed halberds with some of the best armor in the game. This armor is going to be absolutely thick, lots of voyeurs, and then of course we also have these sergeants, and you know, nothing would be complete without heavy cavalry. So yeah, this cavalry is going to do some serious damage. And then finally we also have the longbowmen as well. For some reason, again, it's not letting me preview these. Don't know why. They do work in the game. Then of course we have the banner knights as well. Again, just elite heavy cavalry, cool campesins for the horses and other units. So yeah, Valandia is definitely one of the coolest factions with this, but don't get it twisted. Other factions also still have their units completely changed as well. Every single faction does. So of course we have the heroic archers. They go down to the master archers, so it's still kind of keeping that vibe of Britannia being master bowmen, forest warriors, and they also have these handgunners. Again, I have no idea why let me click on them. And then also their main infantry line, they have the halberds, they have heavy horse, and they also have these guys as well who look amazing. amazing. You can see, like, you know, the Britannians have a pretty small roster overall. This isn't going to be like the craziest line. Like you saw, Landia was quite vast and these guys are a little bit thinner. But as we make our way over as well, if we go to the Empire, you guys can see these guys are Holy Canadian men-at-arms into some of the scariest infantry in the, cavalry in the entire game. And again, keep in mind that all of these colors will actually change if you recruit them, and same with all the other lords as well. So again, very, very scary heavy infantry line. And then also for their melee line, they also have Holy Crusaders backed up by German knights and also, Canadian knightly infantry. I think these guys are modeled off Germany, which is why I said that. They also, of course, have good bowmen and also heavy guns. So basically, you guys can kind of get the idea that like most factions here are pretty stacked up. We go over to the Nordic soldiers. Again, you guys can see them right here, the Shield Brother champions right there, several different armors. And again, obviously these guys are modeled after Sweden. You guys can see their Nordic line as well into the heavy knights. I mean, again, at the top tier, everyone's going to be heavy armored knights. It's going to be very similar in the equipment. It's kind of going to be these more mid tier that you're going to be seeing a lot more on the battlefield. So you're going to be seeing these guys shooting and doing their thing, which is pretty cool. Yazurai also obviously have a similar roster. I think these guys have a little bit less when it comes to equipment, just because there's not as much equipment made for like more of a Middle Eastern faction in the armory packs, but still they have plenty and these units do look cool. They're going to be focusing a lot on their archers, and I believe their guns are better as well. Yeah, these handgunners are slightly better than the, I guess, more European counterparts. They also obviously have heavy cavalry as well, horse archers and heavy infantry. I'm hoping the armor is going to be good enough to hold up, because this is actually 10 armor worse, so a lot of these two-handers might struggle, but I also think they have more shielded infantry as well, which in Bannerlord is probably a little bit better. And noble troop line again is just heavy cataphracts with spears, but a lot of this is vanilla armor. And then finally, we also have the Kuzites over here. So again, you have like the Khan's Guard right here. Like, this is basically just like a Mongol horde of horse archers. They're going to be some serious work. This dude is completely naked and obviously doesn't have his armor set for number one, but the other cavalry, again, just heavy cavalry, ready to do some crazy damage. They also have guns. I think they kind of gave everyone access to guns. I really like their dismounted infantry as well. These guys, I love that helmet. It just looks absolutely awesome. Very like Kuzite-esque. So now let's jump into a battle and see what these units look like on the battlefield. Okay, so we are in the battle now, and you guys can take a little look-see at the forces. I think where this mod really succeeds and just really pushes it forward is when you've got multiple different faction colors all scattered around. I think they're like amazing with all the different dukes and flowers and stuff. But let's pause it. Let's take a little look-see at the units. So right now we've just got the longbowmen unleashing their hell right there. The handgunners, of course, not in range, but you guys can see the sigils and stuff. Really cool stuff, like all custom done, which looks very nice. So yeah, again, all of this stuff, all my insignia of my faction is on the flags and also on the units. So again, these guys look really good as they pull back their bows, and I can't wait to see the guns fire. The infantry vote is what we're all here to see, and they look absolutely amazing. I love these armor pieces. I think these are mainly done from expanded Bannerlord armory. Again, looks incredible right there. Very cool indeed. These dudes have all their custom swords out, supported by the big old halberds when the enemy gets a bit closer. Again, looking very nice with detail. The battle worn armor looks incredible. The shields, again, there are some shielded infantry right there. I don't know what this guy's, oh, he's pulling out his halberd right there. And then of course the heavy knights looking really nice indeed as well. Scattered around, custom horse armor as well, and just the overall thickness of these guys. And I imagine also they have some very deadly stuff. Obviously also got some custom armor on myself. Got a nice little sword right there. And can this sword be two-handed? No, it's just one-handed. And then we also, of course, have this halberd as well, I guess, Volgear, which we can utilize. Taking a look at the enemy line, so we are fighting the Empire right now, and as you guys can see, they have quite a vast amount of custom horse armor, looking very nice indeed. Their own custom pink colors as well. Over in the center, again, you guys can see some of their infantry, these heavier Pavese crossbowmen supported by lighter infantry. Of course, I've cheated my army in, so these guys are going to be a little bit less highly upgraded, whereas I've got a lot of elite forces right here, but still looking very cool nonetheless. And as armies obviously upgrade, they're going to get better and better. So let's get my guns set up on here, because I want to see the guns fire. I got my infantry just behind them. Cavalry can scale. They're charging me both, so let's tell my cavalry to split, and then we can charge in and maybe support these guys. But yeah, I want to see the guns unleash hell, because I imagine they do some really serious damage on these. Cavalry is going to be a pain to deal with. So there you go, the guns are reloading as well. I actually want to see the custom reload. Oh, they got the musket reload animation. That's funny. The archers firing. Again, these guns take a long time to reload. but obviously they have great armor piercing, able to just do some, oh my god, why am I here? Either way, we'll come in here and do some damage. I also don't actually have any of the RBM mods on, so some of the weapons and armors might be a little bit different, but you guys can see just how much damage these guns are doing overall to the infantry. Then we can just put up our infantry line now. Let's advance these guys forward. Actually going to dismount myself, why not? Let's dismount and go and help out with the boys as we push forward. We'll go nice cinematic mode so you guys can see it in all of its glory. I mean, it looks amazing, right? So let's just give the order to charge. Let's get stuck in, boys. So a lot of them are using their swords, but what you can do is a mod that isn't used in this mod list, but one I would probably implement in is spear preference mod. You need a few of ones, and there is also an RBM variant of that as well, which you can bring in as well, which is great. Basically, it means that they're more likely to use these halberds and their spears in battle, rather than just whipping out their sword and their primary and using that, which I think is a must, especially with a mod like this, where there's so many late tier units, and you want to obviously be fighting cavalry and other units along them lines. So yeah, I highly recommend using probably the spear preference mod, which you can just find on Nexus mods. And I'll probably include it if you guys do want to see an install guide. I'll be more than happy to to bring it in. There's maybe set up our cavalry, get a nice little charge off on them. Also stuff like the decapitation mod would be perfect if it's just swinging around a big old two-handed weapon is always going to be fun as we take down another knight. But yeah, I mean, just look at all the banners fluttering. It looks really good, right? Yeah, the fighting, unleashing hell. The cavalry can now just charge in as well with their halberds, and we're already through right there, pushing on to the enemy line. So yeah, that's gonna probably about do it for this video. As I mentioned, it looks absolutely amazing. This is definitely one of the best medieval reskins that I've seen, and it is quite simple to install and download. You just obviously need to, there's just quite a few of them, which makes it a little bit arduous, but again, one I highly recommend. And I think one of the reasons I've done a campaign using the custom series mod before, and I think it's just very, very good because it's so lightweight. It doesn't take like hundreds of files to work. You know, it does take a few files, I guess, but it's just very kind of lightweight when it comes to putting it in a mod list. Like, this custom series is great, and it does make the whole process quite smooth. So as I mentioned, if you guys want to see me make an install guide on this, do let me know by dropping a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.